All right, guys. Welcome to a total. Totally wasn't planning on doing this, but I decided to go ahead and just throw up a quick live stream so we can. Oh, let me mute this out. Looks like I got some feedback. Sorry about that. So I wanted to do a live stream at this time of day for people who sometimes can't make it to the later streams, and you'll be able to catch this on replay. And it'll just be nice to have you guys here with me. So I wanted to do a live Q&A and give some tips and tricks on how I personally would use this, and I want you guys to follow along and join me. So again, if you're at work, you can put it on the side and just listen along, whatever you choose to do. That will be fun too. So it's about 11 o'clock Central Standard Time on June 15th, I believe it is. Yes, June 15th. So I wanted to do a Q&A, so answer your questions and just get something going here for you to where I can, because some of you guys are on the fence about buying the Surface Duo, and I understand why. I'm not naive to think that you guys, would probably, it's still a lot of money even though it's on sale, and so that's what today's video is about. Not trying to convince you to buy the device, but just giving you some tips and tricks and things that I've done to get it more to my liking, and some things you might be wondering how these things work that I'm going to point out in this video. So we're going to just kick this off and we'll chat. And again, if you have questions, post them down below. If that's what you choose to do, that's fine too. Happy to answer any questions because I love doing live videos. I think it's really cool to do live videos. I'm getting back into the swing of doing live videos. Obviously, I haven't done a lot of live videos lately, but every week I've been posting on Monday because that's the time that you guys told me, hey, Jay, this will be a good time to do some live streams, my two favorites at the moment. But I want to do more live streams like this, getting into questions and answers, because sometimes a lot of you guys post questions on the comment section of videos and I can't get back around to them, so let me do a quick sound check here once again, just to be sure. All right, so audio sounds really good. Using one of my different stereo mics here, not using my Yeti X, I'm using a different mic here that I totally enjoy using. It is the pseudo track. Yeah, I always mispronounce that name. I think it's called the pseudo track. Yeah, the pseudo tact. This microphone is actually really solid. So I hope you guys enjoy the audio quality and the visuals. This will just be a top-down shot for you here because I want to show you the things that are going to be going on here. So again, if you're at work, place me to the side if you want to listen along or whatever. So good question already from Michael Pepper Tech. I appreciate it. I'll turn the live chat on here for you guys so you can see the questions coming in here. You should see the live chat. Let me make sure here. And I'll post that question up. Why isn't my live chat overlaying? Where's the chat? Where's the chat? I think you guys should be able to see. No, I can't see it either. Where is my live? I'll just go ahead and post his comment right there. For some reason, my live chat isn't working on here. I don't know why, but hey, I can still post the chat, the question there for you. I can do that. So he asks, how is third-party launchers handled? Do they flow across both screens? Well, there are actually some, there are launchers that are out now that are for this device. Launcher 10 is the one that I've used. And there's another launcher. I can't think of the name of it. I forgot. I tested them both out. But the launchers, yes, they flow across both screens. It seems to be, again, here we go, right here. Here's another follow-up right here. Launcher 10 Dennis says Launcher 10 seems to be the only one that worked good, but I eventually went back to the stock launcher. And that is my situation as well. Launcher 10 works well. There's another launcher, I can't think of the name of it, but there's a couple of them out there. My favorite launcher is Pix Launcher, and it doesn't work on here. Now, the Microsoft launcher works great on here. That other third-party one that you can download, that one works great on here too. But ultimately, I went back to this launcher because it just flows better. But third-party launchers do work, but it's not a lot of them out there that actually are going to please you. They won't be as pleasing to the eye, I guess I'll say. So I don't know why it's like that, but you know, there's a few of them out there that work well. But a lot of them out there, you probably won't like them. They flow across the screen or whatever, but I'm still trying to figure out why my live chat overlay isn't coming on here. I don't know why that's doing that. But yeah, there's some out there that you might like, and then you might not like. It doesn't flow as well as it should. And so I think that might prompt you to take it off and go and go back stock, basically like the other person did. They pretty much went back stock like I did because I felt like that was probably the best thing to do. So my chat overlay isn't working, so I'll post comments. I'll post your comments and questions as they come in here for me. So I got a list of things that I kind of took down, and you know, I kind of wanted to have them out there. What's going on, Night Tech? Hey, what's going on, Night Tech? Night Tech's watching on. This is being streamed on Periscope, and basically Twitter and YouTube. So I can see the comments coming in different locations. You can't probably unless I post them up for you guys. So you can see there. He says, "What's up, Jay?" That's take the icon by the person's name, and you'll see exactly you know where they're coming from, where their comments are posted at. But nonetheless, this is a quick Q&A and a discussion for you guys to talk about the Microsoft Surface Duo, because a lot of you guys are on the fence about buying it. If you're stopping in, I appreciate you coming in. It is a early morning stream for me. I didn't want to shoot a video, so I said, you know what, I want to get these questions and answers real time, because I think that is just a better way to do it. So I'll post a comment here from Dennis. He says, the main reason I chose the Duel is using two different stock trading apps at the same time. And that is the great part about using the Surface Duo. You can post two apps simultaneously. You just post them up and you can scroll through each one all at the same time. And I think that's important. So this is something that you should take note of. Should be one of the main reasons that you're getting the Surface Duo, is you want, because obviously I had the Fold 2 and you can obviously post, you can use a split screen, but it is like two narrow displays. And that's not a knock on the Fold 2. I love the Fold. But this is obviously just more realistic if you want more canvas. And that is one of the main reasons that a lot of people probably would get this device right here, is for the being able to post both. All right, so let's see here. Night Tech came over to YouTube. All right, so here's another question here. How does Gboard handle the two screens? That's one issue I had with the Velvet and the Wing with the dual screens. So we'll go ahead and install Gboard real time here for you. I use Gboard, but I decided to use the stock app. So the Swift key, the one that came with it. So, oh, it's already on here. Okay. Duh. What am I doing? So let's enable it. And we'll do Gboard. We'll go to additional settings, and I'm going to go ahead and just, oops, no, let's go ahead and hit done. Go to preferences. It's all set up. It's all set up probably still for the way I had it before. Theme. And then I'll show you how it handles it. So using Gboard, this is Gboard. And what I've learned about Gboard is sometimes if I'm over here with a application and it's open, it'll have a black spot on this side right here. But maybe that's been fixed because I haven't used that And so I haven't used Gboard on here. Gboard is the best keyboard, bars. Gboard is the best keyboard, I say, to use on any of your Android devices. Eric says, what's going on, Eric? He says he uses it too. I totally would say go ahead and use Gboard over SwiftKey. SwiftKey is nice, but Gboard is fantastic. So let me open up something here. Let's go to, I want to get something. Let's open up the Edge browser here. All right, so we'll spawn this across here, and we'll go ahead and type. This is how Gboard will look for you. It's got a little split right there because remember, the spawning feature is default. It's native to the SwiftKey. It's native to all these other applications. But if you turn it like this, then you get Gboard is kind of cut off at the bottom down there, as you can see. And this is what Gboard is going to look like when you use it in the spawning motion. But if you have it just on one side, it's going to be fine. I found that back in the day, it would have a black bar over here on this side when I'm using something on this side. So that was something that was happening with Gboard. So that is one of the reasons I stopped using Gboard. But Gboard works great. But as you can see, when you spawn with it in some situations, it's going to be cut off and it's just not going to look right. But Gboard is the better of the two that you would want to use. And I think that is definitely one that I would recommend for sure. So I'm going to get into the first thing here that I would recommend you do, or this is actually a tip for you guys. And this isn't really a trick or anything. This is a tip that you should use. When you're playing media content, start the media content on this side. The reason being is your speaker for media is a thin slit at the top up here. As I hold it right there at that angle, you can kind of see right there, there's a slit. That is your media consumption speaker. That's where it goes. So if I open Pandora here, it's going to open over here because this is where I predominantly was using it. But you definitely want to use you want to start your media, any kind of media, start it on the left. Start it on the left. That's a tip for you guys. That's not a trick. That's the truth. Because if you want to sit it like this, you want the media facing you, you want to have it, this device is so boss. You want to have it facing you. You want to watch your video. You want to watch your YouTube. You want to do all of that. You want it facing you. So that's an important thing I think people miss when using the Surface Duo. Even I missed it initially. Put all your media content on the left screen. I want to create a wallpaper that says media content, everything else. You know, this is what that's all I want to do. But you definitely want to put your media on the left side of the screen, because I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but you know, I mean, the people who have it, obviously, you know that your speaker, your media consumption speaker is on this side. So you want to put media consumption things on this side over here. So all of my social media or all of my streaming services, everything, I'm going to open it on this screen over here. So if you didn't know that, that is definitely something that you should do. Now, the flip side of that is phone calls go on the right. Because if you start a phone call, it's going to tell you to switch it to the right side. It's going to say, flip me over, or whatever it says, that little message that pops up, flip me over, because everything else goes over here. Because this cutout on the top here, that cutout is your speaker to listen. And then there's a small slit down here on the bottom. If I can get it right there, it is right there. You can see that angle right there. That's where your microphone is going to be positioned at. Yeah. So yeah, that's another tip for you. I'm going to answer this question. Zach says, what happens? And he's talking about media consumption. If you have it on the right, it's just, if you sit it like this and you have your media consumption on the right, it's the speaker is just going to be facing you. But if you're watching your video like this, the speaker is going to be going up. That's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens. So you can put your media consumption things wherever you want, but just remember the speaker to listen, and the loudspeaker is up here on the top left. So he said, I think you like this device much better now. It's mainly because of the price. Yeah, no, you're totally wrong. Now, this is where I tell this person, McCured, you should probably go watch my consumption of this. I put up tons of videos on this. I've been following this since 2019. And I really, there's no other way to say it, but you're not correct. Saying you're wrong might come across kind of harsh, but that's totally not correct. I liked this device long before. Remember, I was one of the ones who paid full cost for it initially, and I loved it. However, with the software issues that it had back at the beginning, yeah, you probably should go back and watch all of the content that I had on this device prior to the price drop. You'll see just 2 videos of me updating you probably on the failures of the device, which since then have been corrected. So yeah, no, I can't be bought out because the price is low. No, I love the device long before it even dropped in price. Now, the next tip, so back to phone calls. Phone calls and everything else, you need to do that on the right side over here because the speaker's over here for to make phone calls. And it's going to tell you, hey, flip me over, which I think is a cool thing that it does. So next tip for you guys is when you're doing the fingerprint reader, set it up in both orientations, meaning set it up on this side, but then also open the phone up, flip it over. So, okay, so it's gonna open right now if I open it with this finger, right? So it just opened up, right? So you want to flip it over and you want to set it up in the other orientation. So you can have it open with both thumbs if you're going to do your thumbs. That's another tip for you guys that I think you definitely should do if you're going to use the fingerprint reader, because I see some people using this finger. And if you don't have big hands, it's going to be kind of hard and difficult to reach around there. Yeah. So I suggest that you set the fingerprint reader up in both orientations. Set it up when you're holding it like this, and then set it up when you're holding it on the left hand. That way, because the device is so thin, you just can't go wrong with having it in this orientation. It's too thin, so you won't mess anything up by setting it up that way. That's another question I'm going to get in there. You won't go wrong with setting it up on both sides, and I highly recommend that you do that. And I don't know if some of you guys even thought about doing that, but I'm throwing out the live Q&A like this, so you'll be able to determine, hey, oh, I didn't know that, because it's going to be something that someone didn't know or might not have wanted to try. So again, the third thing on the list is to set up the fingerprint reader for both orientations. This is a huge plus for you. That way you'll be able to keep your device open if you're one of those people who keep it open. So I see a question here, and I have no idea. I don't know why Microsoft. I mean, obviously, they need to get rid of them. And a lot of times, what you'll see is companies will lower the price on something when something new is coming out. Yeah, they're going to lower the price because obviously the Surface Duel 2 is around the corner, and supposedly it might release in September. So this is a huge deal for people who want to get this version. I highly recommend sometimes grabbing the lowered price, the one that the first generation one is, and this, let's be clear, this isn't a bad first generation device. It's totally not at all. So the fourth thing on the list that I have jotted down for you guys is to use the peek feature. The peek feature was something that when I bought it initially, it did not work properly. And you had to go into all these settings and you had to do all these different things. But now if you just crack it right there, you'll see the peek feature and you'll see notifications and things pop up in here. That was a thing that some people, couldn't do initially when we first got it. The peek feature just didn't work. You had to go all these special workarounds and it was just weird. But they've fixed the software and there it is. So I see another question here. I'll post this up before I go to the next tip here. This is more of like a comment. He said, I wish that this had an outside screen because I feel like having it open is up to view and call, but knowing Surface Duel 2 outside. Well, actually, I know people who have this and they actually leave it like this because you just have a screen. You've got Gorilla Glass, so you don't have to close it. And this is coming later on when I discuss something down for you. So we're going to go ahead and pop it back open here and I'll show you the next tip. Post your questions, comments, tips, or questions or whatever down below. I'm still trying to figure out why my live chat isn't working here on this screen. Let's see. My chat overlay is just not popping up for some reason. I don't know why. Because I want to show you, I want to have the questions on the screen for you guys. So I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. But nonetheless, it is what it is. So Now, the next tip that I have for you guys, or recommendation, is use the spawn feature. That is what the spawn span, whatever, however you want to say it. Using that feature is beneficial to you, and it's definitely beneficial with the default apps. So if I open my Outlook here and I spawn this, as soon as I tap something, boom, there it is. It's over here. And this is a huge plus because when you want to, if you have a link or something like that in the email, it'll open up full screen on this side. So I just feel like if you guys don't use the spawn feature, you're kind of missing out, because having the Outlook mail just on this side, it closes it off like this, and it's or just not using the spawn feature, just closes it off, and it's really not beneficial to using this device if you're planning on taking advantage of the canvas, because that's ultimately what it's about. That's ultimately what it's about. So the next tip that I would ask, that I would recommend to you guys is use more of the default apps. The default apps are what makes this device great. The default apps is what makes this device great. So there's a lot of Microsoft Teams, anything Microsoft, the Office, all of those things are going to work great as far as the default or the functionality of this tablet hybrid phone type device. This is what it is. This is what you want, is to use a lot of the default apps because Office and all these things on here work absolutely great. And I think you'll love the way the default apps. Now, hopefully the third-party apps open up more and more people come in and start creating for this device. And I think by the time the Surface Duo 2 comes around, I think, don't you love like that 3D effect that people do like this? All it is them sitting something on top like this, and that's all it is. That's pretty cool. That's cool how people do that. But I just think that the more developers get involved, the more we'll be able to see. Because reading a book on here, if you have this in the chat, right now, if you have this in the chat and you've read a book with this, oh my gosh. If you've read a book with this, it's not a joke, folks. It's literally like reading a book. It's like reading a book. It's so sweet. Let me see if I can open up one of a book here, because I've got a let me see here. Here we go. Let me see. How do I want to do this? Let's open it in Kindle. Let's see here. I've got a book I want to show you, or maybe I'll download it. Yeah, I'll download the book to my device, because this is I got it in a file form. Let's see here. All right. Oops, man, I closed it. Kindle. Where's my Kindle? Come on. I've hardly opened my Kindle app anymore, because why? I just I like to read some things. I like to read in my PDF file, because even if you read in a PDF file, it's going to still show as a book format. So I was trying to open it in the Kindle for you, but let me go to files here. I see a question down there, and I'm going to get to this question next. That'll be my next question. Files. Here we go. PDF. Oh my gosh. I won't use the Kindle. I'll just use this, because I want to show you what this looks like when reading a book. Oh, if I can get this right. Oh. This is what it looks like reading a book. Absolutely great. This is fantastic. This is just beautiful. I love this. I love using it like a book. So if you've ever used it like a book functionality, you're going to love it. Now, The next question before I get to the next tip or a recommendation is, how is the battery life? Can you get through a day without charging, or maybe a full day? The question that you want to hear is going to be right here. I'm going to show you, because I did a separate video on battery life last year when I bought it. I'll just say the battery life is absolutely fantastic. But remember, battery depends on the user. I'm going to actually go in real time and show you what my battery is right now. So I see some people saying that 4 to 5 hours power using it before I put it on the charger. That's Dennis. I get way more use than Dennis. Here's my battery right here. Currently right now, 17 hours ago was my last charge. I have 42% left, and I've got almost 4 hours of screen on time. Now I'm measuring with the screen on time because that's the way you guys like to measure it. But to answer your question right in here, you can definitely make it through a full day. But remember, everybody uses their device differently. You know, people use their devices different. So I can't guarantee you that you're going to get, because I can get 7, 8 hours probably. I can't guarantee that that's what you're going to get. But what I can tell you is I'm going to show you my battery life real time. And here it is right there. I charged it 17 hours ago. I got almost 4 hours of screen on time right now, and I got 42% left. What more do you want? That's the best way to answer your question, is to just show you. That is it right there. That's that dreaded black screen that some people talk about. That's the first time that's happened to me. But nonetheless, some people were saying that if you something like where it'll turn black. I've never seen that before, but until just now. But battery life, there it is. I can go a full day and more than a day with battery life on mine. So another one is Dennis. He's absolutely right. The spawn feature with the news, again, using the default applications is just gonna be the best way to go for you. Using the default applications are going to be the best way to go. So Dennis is getting 45 hours of power using before he has to put it on the charge. And I'm assuming when he's talking about power using, he's really hitting it hard. He's not stopping. He's just nonstop watching a video on top, reading a book on the bottom, or gaming or something like that. Yeah, that might be what he's talking about. That might be what he's talking about. So, but nonetheless, yeah, let's go to the next tip, folks. Let's go to the next tip or piece of advice, I would say. So the next thing on the list, day trading apps consistently open. There we go. He put it up. Dennis put up. He's using day trading apps consistently. Yeah, and if you're going to leave it also depends on what other apps are running. You know, how you have your brightness. A lot of things go into battery. But what I can tell you is that the battery life on this thing is fantastic. So the next tip or piece of advice I would say after using more of the default apps is to set up groups. That's what this is about, setting up groups. You want to be able to just click on things and have 2 open at the same time. So if you go into something, and I'm just going to go into 2 applications here. Let's see. I'll go into, let's just create a group with calculator. So you just long press on something. And I've already got the calculator selected since I long pressed it. And then we'll add, let's just add my lighting. And then you hit done. And then you can title the group right here. I'm just going to name this group, or I'm going to name it HH group. And then that's it. And then you just hit OK. And then the group will appear over here on the top. It'll appear on your screen. And then you can move it wherever you want to put it at. Creating groups is going to be your friend. Creating groups is going to be your friend. It's just so nice to be able to do that. And after you create that group, you press it, and they both open up. That's it. That's it. So create a group. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. What's going on, LaShawn? With YouTube picture-in-picture, oh yeah, Dennis was still talking about the battery life. I definitely use picture-in-picture on here. You can actually open, I think, like 4 apps at once on here. You can have 2 overlays, and then you can have 2 full apps in the back, or two overlays in 1 app, and then sometimes it'll let you pop open a 4th app, I've noticed. So what's good, LaShawn? I see you in here, man. What's going on? Is this a question? What is this down here? Is it possible to keep the clock showing if you have it on peak mode. If you leave it on peak mode, it'll time out. And that's just that's a good question. You mean like if you have it right here, at least from what I can tell, the peak mode times out and it'll basically just turn black after a couple seconds, because the peak feature is just to show you real briefly, do I want to check this or not? That's ultimately what the peak feature is about. You just wanted to determine whether if it's worth, and this is for people who don't keep, there's people that have this phone and they keep it like that. They literally keep it open. This is the way they use it. I have a matte screen protector on it, obviously. But this is how they use it. They leave it like this. You know, they don't close it. This is what they do. They just enjoy, and it's totally possible to do this because either way, this device has glass on the front and the back, so you're not hurting anything. If you have a screen protector on here, you're fine. You know, if it's gonna break, it's gonna break. If you drop it, you drop it. You know what I'm saying? But you can put your bumper on there to help eliminate that if that's the case. So yeah, you could it dies out when you have the peak feature because it's just there to give you a quick glance at notifications and things like that. That's what it's there for. So I'm going to tell you another little tip or trick here that you could possibly do if you wanted to. I was looking to see if there was something else in here for that, but it's not. All right. So another thing that you could possibly do, post your questions down below if you have something you wanted to know about this device. If you haven't purchased it yet and you want to know about it, post it down below. So after you, that's another option is to set up groups. But as you can see here, I have some folders and you can set up folders. The way you set up a folder is you take one thing and drop it into the next like this. And it'll now, if I tap off of this, it's going to go away. Yeah, it'll just disappear and go back. But in order to do the group, I see a question coming down. So to do folder, you tap folder, and then it stays in there and turns into a folder. And then you can do just label this security, and then now I have another folder for security. And I can add more security apps. And if I want to go ahead and add something else in there, I'll just find some of my security apps. Like here's my Blink, and it won't let you go in and add things that are already in there. So I've got my Honeywell for that one window that I have, and I can add my garage in there if I wanted to. Just a bunch of, you can add whatever. This is the faster way to do it. And you go up here and you hit done, and now all those things are in there. So now I have those things in my folder. So creating folders is something that you definitely do, that you want to do when you have this, because creating the folders is going to save you time if you don't want to go into the app tray. But going into the app tray, obviously the device is blazing fast, but you can now, instead of searching for those items, because some things might be at the top or the bottom and you don't want to search. LaShawn posts, LaShawn's always messing with me. There it is, LaShawn. No, sir, it is definitely not. So this person asked, I have the Fold 2. How does the Duel compare to the Fold? Well, a question like, I've done a video comparison. I've done 2 videos comparing those 2 devices. Search my channel and you will find those videos. But to answer a question like this, you'll have to get the devices and make your own determination of what that is. Because sometimes when you're trying to tell a person how good something is or how great something is, they don't want to see past the front of their nose because they're so engulfed in what they think is right. And people really don't want the truth when it comes to comparisons. People don't want to hear that the Fold 2 is not the best folding device for some people. Yeah. But for some people, it is the best folding device. I chose the Fold 2 over this device for a number of reasons back then when I did that comparison. I named the Fold 2 the creator content device because this device still has some things that it's going to have to do to catch up to the Fold. Like some things that I can tell you is that the cameras are obviously better on the Fold 2. that's something. Hardware is better on this device. You know, there's things that go back and forwards on it that, you know, that you just have to determine what you like. You know, when people ask that question, it's kind of it's too broad and too vague to just say, oh, yes, because it wouldn't be correct. There are plenty of things about the Fold 2 that are better than this device, and there are a lot of things that are this device does better than the Fold 2. Just something as simple as launching 2 apps. If you launch these 2 apps on the Fold 2, they're going to be a lot smaller because the Fold 2 has a different resolution. So, there's just too many things that goes into that, but yeah. So there's a question down here from him. Does it still have bugs? Of course not, man. I mean, the device doesn't. Every device has bugs, but currently, right now, they've tackled all these. I mean, you got to get on Google more, man. I appreciate you some more, but you got to get on Google. You got to get on Google because the device doesn't have a bunch of bugs anymore like it did at the beginning when I first bought it. I bought it last year when it first launched, and it did have a ton of bugs, which is why I sold it the first time. But they've been updating it every month. So we should be getting the June security patch soon. But yeah, no, not a bunch of bugs. Yeah. If you have questions about the software and things like that, I see questions about like how many updates and all this stuff. You need to go directly to Microsoft and check with them. I don't work for Microsoft. I just happen to really love this device. Shout out to Gigi. I see you guys here. I appreciate you guys coming in. Scoop, all you guys. Appreciate you stopping by for a quick live stream Q&A on the Surface Duo. If you're just joining in, I've been kind of going down a list of things I took notes on to, kind of get people to understand this device isn't just a phone. Just like the Fold is not just a phone. Any folding device is not just a phone. It's a folding device that has a phone application. That is how I see it. So the next thing I would tell you guys to do is place all the apps that you're going to be using the most down at the bottom. And the good part about this bar down here is I can swipe these apps over here like this and get quicker access to them if I want to. Like if I'm a lefty, I can swipe them over like that and just do something else over here, and all of my apps will be over here. Because when you open an application, sometimes, and it's going to pop on either screen, the apps will shuffle over anyway. So let me see here. Let's open Twitter. See already there it is. It shuffled over here. Like there's my Twitter feed right there. It shuffled over to this side. So all the applications are going to shuffle over because it needs access to this bar down here. So, with that being said, put the things that you're going to use the most down on that bar down there. I think you can put 6 things down there. As you can see here, you can put a total of 6 or less, I should say. You don't have to put 6 down there, but definitely put the things down there that you're going to be using the most. Yeah, do that. One thing that I didn't do that I would recommend you do is, and I'm going to do this, obviously, I'm going to, at some point or another, I'm going to buy the Surface Pen. Buying this, now, the reason I'm not in a rush to buy the Surface Pen is because the Surface Pen is like $100. And the chances of me using it a lot, probably not. But if I was a person who genuinely needed to do a lot of writing, this obviously supports pen input. And then the plus is that it can magnetically slap on the back. But when you start to close it and things like that, it's kind of weird. It might fall off. So you just probably throw it into your pen. So if you're just joining in, I'm just doing a quick Microsoft Surface Duel live Q&A because I didn't want to shoot a video. But this is my Surface Duo. And I mean, I've got a few more things I want to go over here. 2 or 3 more things. But the Surface Duo is some of the best hardware you'll ever get on any mobile computing device. It is absolutely fantastic. And it can't be ignored to the point where people just think it goes into a certain category. It's just not like that. You have to give the device a chance. If you don't want to give it a chance, fine, I get it. I understand. That's great. You don't have to give it a chance. However, if you decide to give it a chance, I think you'll be hard pressed to say that you dislike it. Because if anybody knows about buying a bunch of different devices and testing them out, and not just testing them, actually using them, I'm one of those people. And I would highly recommend that a person give this device a chance if, in fact, they want something different. They want something nice, smooth, elegant, that's going to be beneficial to them if in fact they decide they need something to multitask with. That is where this device is going to come in, and it's going to please more than you might hear online. You might hear, it's trash, it's a bunch of bugs, it's this, it's that. You have to determine whether or not you want to believe that. And you're going to have to, because again, sometimes when you're asking questions, you're really asking the person to make a decision for you. And that's not how life works. You can reviews like even like this, man, only take this with so much. This is just my opinion on it. And that's just about where it stops. What's going on, Barry? I see you. Thanks for stopping in real quick for a quick Q&A. But you have to determine whether or not you're going to buy something, and what the worth and the value and all that goes into it. That's totally on you. You can't rely on other people to tell you to buy something, because that's ultimately what people are doing when they say, is it worth it, in a lot of situations, because the value of something depends on the person holding the device. Yeah. It's just what it is. Sharks fan, what's going on? I see you in the chat there. So the next tip or recommendation that I would leave to some people, because some people already do this, leave it open. For some people that predominantly use one screen, just leave it open. Leave it like, you can totally, and I talked about this earlier, you can totally leave it like this, put it down. Nothing is going to happen to the other screen. And especially if you have a screen protector on it, that's a little bit more comfort, for you guys out there who might think, hey, the screen's going to get damaged. Well, if you remember, the back is glass too. So this is, either side can break. But they do offer you the included bumper, and you can have cases. So that's just something that you should consider. Leaving it open is going to give you even quicker access to getting into the device if you don't want to fold it open a bunch. I actually use it like this quite a bit. I didn't realize I did, but I actually use it like this quite a bit. I didn't realize it, but leaving it open, like, especially if I'm in sometimes you ever been in that mood where you're just constantly checking your phone? I'm not the only one. Like, your phone beeps like you're waiting for something, and the phone is beeping, and you're like, oh, I gotta get that. Leaving it like this is a huge plus. It's a huge plus. And I would say leave it on this side. So if you want quick access to your camera, that's something that you could possibly do. Yes, but this is just such beautiful hardware. All right, so I see another question here from him or her, or the name. Yeah. How is it when using it with earbuds that aren't the Surface Buds? Any issues with connection? Absolutely not. So connection, that's a fantastic question, because obviously this has one of the newer technologies for Bluetooth, and I have my brand new Vista 2s here, which is one of my favorites. And then I have my $400. These are $200. These are $400. The Byron Wilkins is what I'm actually using with the Surface Duo right now. And the reason the price isn't important. It's just, but sometimes it is, because you need a quality set of earbuds, and using with Bluetooth is flawless. I've never had a connection issue, but also I'm not using $15 Bluetooth with these either. That does play a part, because depending on the tech that's in the Bluetooth that you're currently wanting to use, you could have some connection issues. But these Bauer & Wilkins are the PI7s, which is the latest from Bauer & Wilkins, and then the Gboard Vista 2s are the latest as well. So depending on which device you're using with your Surface Duo as far as Bluetooth, you could have a problem. But I'm using some pretty good earbuds here, and no problems whatsoever with my earbuds for connection. Yeah. So post your questions down below, folks. If you have a question and that you want to know about the Surface Duo, great questions. Everybody who's been asking questions, man, I appreciate it. You guys are asking some really good questions, and I just like to answer them real time for you. So I have another recommendation here. It's to use the application Duel. And no pun intended, using Duo. Now, I won't open it here because it's going to show like my previous calls and other people's information that they don't want to be shown in a live feed. But use Duo. Duo literally is fantastic on this device. Video chatting, period, I'll say. Just video chat with this device, because you can sit it like this. Oh, it's so much better than one would think. Video chatting on here is fantastic, and taking advantage of the application Duo is where it's at. It just makes okay, I was getting ready to say something. Hey, what's going on, Calvin? Where did it go? I'm gonna get to the next question. It just makes total sense to leave the Duo open most of the time, since it doesn't have any kind of external display. That's another way to look at it too. Sharkfin is right. So I see a question, I think, here. Is there a way to keep both apps running at the same time? For example, when I'm running an emulator on one screen and Facebook on the other, when the touch side of Facebook is, yeah, you can. That's what this device is for. You can run two applications. I don't game, but some people are gaming on one screen and watching YouTube or chatting or doing something on the other, like literally with a controller, gaming on the top screen or whatever one they have it in this position. They'll have the game up here or the game on the bottom, and they're watching a movie at the top. This device, while it does have 6 gigs of RAM, and the 855, folks, the 855 is just fine. 6 gigs of RAM is a little on the lower side. I would recommend, that next time they do 8 to 12, this device should have had 12 gigs of RAM from the jump. It should have had 12 gigs of RAM from the jump. It really should have. But, again, test dummy. This is that test dummy, where they put it out there and, they just want us to get out there and test it out and let them tell them what's wrong with it. But yeah, you can definitely run a lot of different things on here with no problem. Running the emulator will stop running till I touch the other screen. I don't run emulator, so I don't know. You can't use two. You can't. So I guess that's what he's talking about. When you're touching one screen, you're touching that side. You're not going to be able to use two touch type devices on both sides. And that just, no, because that's going to be, even with like my bigger tablets, you got to start touching somewhere. And then you got to go back and touch the other side. So one screen, if you're asking if one screen is active at a time, when touching, yes. But when viewing, no. You can view something on one side and totally touch the other side, and so on. Yeah. I appreciate the kind words, sir. Certified gangster. Okay. So if you're just joining in, I appreciate you guys stopping by. We're talking about some tips and tricks and let's a live Q&A for the Microsoft Surface Duo. So the next recommendation that I would tell you guys is, use more of the use the Mail app, because you can use the Microsoft Mail, the Mail app on here, not because spawning certain spanning, whatever. Using the full screen to span the Mail app for Gmail is but the Microsoft Outlook app is fantastic for spanning, because that's what they built it around that. That's what they did. So use the, as far as Mail on this particular device, use the Outlook app and then add all your other applications and stuff to it, your Mail apps to it. I think you'll be happy to see that. Now, the one other thing I want to talk about is get a beautiful wallpaper on your device. You don't have to use their wallpapers. Bing wallpapers, which is what you see here, this is a Bing wallpaper, and they seem to work best. They seem to work best. So if I go in and change, I've got a lot of, now here's the Surface wallpapers. There's 5 of them. Boom, boom, boom. These are all cool and everything, but go to Bing and get some Bing images. Look at all these beautiful images, folks. These are beautiful. Let's change it to, let's do this one. Now you have the option to set it to just the home screen or the lock screen or whatever. So let's just do home screen for now. And you can see how it changes there where you have both of them, and you apply it. And then now this beautiful wallpaper is on my device. Make it your own, man. Make it as personal as you can. Use a high resolution wallpaper. And also one thing you remember, I have a matte screen protector on here. So it's totally toned down a little bit. It's not as punchy and vivid as you would see without the matte screen protector. So keep that in mind. You can either go with a clear screen protector or you can go with a matte screen protector. I personally am team matte because I don't like to see the fingerprints all the time on my device. And matte screen protectors do show some kind of oily sometimes, but you don't have to wipe it off like that as much. So keep that in mind when looking at these images that I'm showing you here for the wallpapers. They are a little dumbed down because of that. So look at this beautiful wallpaper here. This is just beautiful. Make it your own, man. Get a beautiful wallpaper up here and change it out and just go get. I definitely recommend that you use Bing wallpapers because they seem to show up best on the Surface Duo with these screens. Man, look at this. This is just gorgeous. This is just great. Yes, ma'am. Team matte all day. But make it your own, man. Get a wallpaper that you like and just change your wallpaper every now and then. Bing has an option to have a rotating wallpaper. Now, I don't do that because I want to see the same thing, when I'm logging in. But these images are beautiful now here. Beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. So I recommend that you get a nice wallpaper. I'm going to go ahead and just change it back to one of these. Oh, let's use this one. This is beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Make it your own, folks. Make it your own. Make it your own. So the Surface Duo has a bunch of different orientations. You can use it in tint mode like this. Yes. You got like that workflow mode when you're typing away down here. This is like a mini laptop. This is essentially just a mini laptop to me. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, you can obviously have it folded all the way open. So many different workflow things you can do, ways to use this device. Now, if you have tips and tricks, post them in the comments section. Let me see here. I see a question I missed. Is it compatible under Visible? If you're talking about Visible Wireless, absolutely. Absolutely. This definitely is compatible with Visible. It's compatible with Verizon. But the thing is, you need to get the unlocked version. You cannot use the AT&T version. Even after you unlock it, you cannot use it with Visible or Verizon. So I highly recommend that you stick with the unlocked version when it comes to this device because you'll be disappointed when you buy the AT&T version and eventually get it unlocked and then you can't use it on Verizon or Visible. So yes, if that's what you're talking about, it definitely works on Visible Wireless. I have used it on Visible Wireless and it is even better service because it runs on the Verizon network. It is fantastic service. So they updated the YouTube app. And I'm just looking over the things I missed here for spawning. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't see that the YouTube app got updated. It must have just got updated today because I was spawning the YouTube app and it wasn't updated. It still looks the same to me. Let me turn this volume down right here. Click on a video. If you're talking about like this is the way it's always looked for me. Right here. watching. This is the way it has always looked for me. So I don't know if what you're talking about when you say the spawning feature, but that they've updated for YouTube. But this is the way it has always looked for me when I did it. So I don't know if you mean like full screen. They now allow full screen. I don't know, but yeah. So post your questions down below and I'll answer them about the Surface Duo or just conversation about the Surface Duo if you have some questions, because a lot of people are probably on the fence about using the Surface Duo or purchasing a Surface Duo, and it is totally worth it, especially for the current price point and with all the software updates. Here's a tip or a trick. This person says, if you use Google Chrome, use it when opening a new window and the link, and you can have 2 Chrome browsers at the same time, like Edge browser can do. And that is totally nice. So let's see if I can figure this out here. Got to get into my Chrome without exposing too much. Let's go to Google. let's just go to CNN. And we're going to go into CNN. And so he's saying pretty much, if you open a link, if you spawn it, I think he's saying, I think that's what he's talking about. Let me see here. Let me read this again because you know I'm kind of slow. Use open in a new window. Oh, okay, got you. Open in a new window. Open in a new window. Boom, there it is right there. My man learning first time on the stream live. So correct. Now I have 2 Chrome windows open. That is a huge, major tip right there because I don't claim to know everything. That is a fantastic tip. Oh, he said YouTube music, not YouTube. Okay, my bad. But this is a fantastic tip. Now I have 2 Chrome browsers side by side. Fantastic. That is a tip real time right here that I just learned. I learned it with you guys. Shout out to Maywash0309. Fantastic tip that deserves a hand clap. Just like the Edge browser. Really, very nice, man. I like that. That's a good tip right there, man. That is a fantastic tip. Fantastic. Having 2 Chrome browsers open, you just open the link in a new window. Make sure to choose new window, and you will see that you now have 2 Chrome browsers open. That's beneficial so much. It's incredible. That is a fantastic tip. All right. Fantastic. I don't use YouTube music, unfortunately. Yeah, don't use that. All right. So, Jay, do you ever use external Bluetooth keyboard with the Duel? Of course. I've used it. I've demoed so many things. You can hook up anything to the Duel Bluetooth. You can hook it up. It totally works. I've demoed that before. It's even better because you get you a stand. Grab your favorite stand, whatever your favorite stand is. Pop your Duel open, open up Word or PowerPoint or whatever, and then you get your Bluetooth mouse combination. And then where's my mouse at? My mouse is one here somewhere. I have a Bluetooth mouse combination with this keyboard right here. And then here's my other mouse though. And then boom, I'm on it. Yeah, it's totally doable. Super comfortable. You'll get a easier typing experience because of how big the canvas is. Definitely. It works well for productivity. Definitely does. So post your comments and questions below, and I will answer them real time for you. And you can show me some things too. I appreciate it. If you set up display side by side to small settings, you can use a tablet app, use a single display in landscape mode. It's handy when watching YouTube while playing Xbox Game Pass. That's another tip. Put the display size down to small, and you can have a tablet app UI, which is pretty cool. So, hey, tech loving mama, you decided to make it in. I know you're super busy. What's going on? So he's talking about going into the settings and then going to display here and then setting the default display size all the way down to small like that. Just like that. And then you can have the full tablet. Yes, Jesus is first. The tablet style, which is pretty cool. Absolutely. Very nice. Good tip. Good tip, guys. Good tip. Good tip. Good tip. Love it. So I've obviously been using the Surface Duo since, yes, listen while figuring out lunch. That's right. I need to grab some lunch. You know, the Surface Duo caught heat for the bugs. Even I did a catch and release on my original Surface Duo after some time. And I gave it a fair shake the first time around. I thought I was one of the early adopters who was willing to kick out the full amount because I saw what was coming down the pipeline as far as innovation goes. And I still see it. It's just that now that I've owned this device twice, it's it's going to take for the Surface Duo to have better. And sadly enough, this and it's sad because in a sense, Microsoft is falling for the okie doke, right? This device is for functionality, not just for cameras, you know, but unfortunately, people don't like these cameras. And the camera, the camera here is actually really good. So I saw a video from Eric recently where he did Gcam. Now I don't do Gcam. I just have Google devices, but it's a proven fact in some situations that the Gcam is what you should probably use. Not just Eric, also Grant Likes Tech. Yeah, it's just Gcam can help certain things. But for me, this camera is great as is. It's not the best. Now, let's be clear. It's not the best, but it does 4K 60, and I've already shown you tons of footage on it. I've done an updated video with the stock camera, and it is good enough. And it's really good. It's just that when you start to compare it next to other devices that have these high-res cameras in the same price range that we consider a functionality device, Microsoft has to step it up. So Microsoft doesn't get a pass. They don't get a pass. They should have come with 2 cameras on this thing already. Now, as far as putting an external display on it, I think that probably would. I said I wanted an external display at one point, but I don't think I can handle it messing up this hardware like this, because what that does is that leaves it open to more damage, if you will. Yeah, I don't know that I want to have an external display. What they could do is, if they do make an external display, have something to do with this, incorporate it some way here, because I don't know that I would want this big ugly display up there where I could just use the peek feature or just open it up. I don't know. That's just me. But unfortunately, they kind of fall for the okie doke with the camera game, because people are reviewing this device like it's a phone, and it's not a phone. It's a device with a phone app. That's what it is. It's like my MacBook Pro, right? It's a MacBook Pro, but it has these ugly cameras on there. So it's a computer with, most laptops have weak cameras. I actually have several laptops. So most of them don't have anything higher than a 720p camera. Most of them don't. It's just a proven fact. They don't have high resolution cameras because they can't. They're going to say they can't fit it into the body, but if Microsoft can fit this really decent camera in this thin body, laptops can have one too. So Microsoft kind of fell for the okie doke with the camera system, but in reality, folks, this camera system will get many people by. They'll be totally happy with it because Duel, no pun intended, but the application Duel is freaking fantastic. The quality is great sometimes no matter what camera you're using. That is something that I truly have experienced, and I believe that. And on this device, it is no different. It is no different. The Duel camera application is great. So if you have more questions or comments, you want to post them down below. I definitely want to see them. I think I see something here. Let me put my glasses back on. I see another tip here, he's saying. Another tip is to open the Google search app, click on more, go to settings, general, then turn off open web pages in app, then click the link and it opens on the other screen. So you have this feature in other apps. So let's go ahead and do this real time for you guys. Let's open up the Google app. Let's open it up. And let's go to more, and let's go to settings, and let's go to general, and let's go down to, and then turn off the open in app right here. So if you're following along, take care of these tips, and you will now have more functionality from your Surface Duo. I love getting people's advice and sharing tips and things like that. So I see someone talking about, let me see here. Is it worth using the Duel as a second device? Listen, okay, Carlos, no one can tell you whether something is worth something. It's just not realistic. I understand what you're getting at, but this goes back to talking about what I was talking about earlier, how people want other people to make choices for them, and it just doesn't work like that. I can't tell. Some people feel like, here's a tip. These Byron Wilkins ran me $400, $399. People were telling me that these are totally worth it. I say they are not worth $3.99, not $4.99. People are saying these are worth $3.99. I say they're worth about $1.99. These cost $1.99. I say they are worth $1.99. You see what I mean? So it's difficult to tell a person if something is worth something, because if I do that, that's one of the reasons that I started my channel. Someone said something was worth something. I believed them. When I got it, I was so upset. I was like, this is not worth it. You have to try it. You got to buy it and try it. I released a video about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever. Buy me, try me. I'm awesome. That's just how I feel. There are plenty of people that feel like this is not worth it. And also, I wouldn't buy this for a second screen. Or you said second device. To me, I don't buy things as second devices. I have like 4 phone lines and I'm using these devices. So a second device also to me is a flip. Okay, so if you're talking about just carrying 2 phones, the second device is a flip phone for me. If I just need that second device, it's a flip phone. It's not a $700, $800, $1,000 device. It's not. Doesn't work like that. Not in my budget. I don't want to pay a lot of money for whatever is supposed to be like this second device. If you balling like that, knock yourself out and buy 2 or 3 of them as a second, third device. But the word worth is what I have a problem with. You can't just say it's worth something. I can't tell you that it's worth it, because you might get it and say, this is trash, man. This isn't worth it. You see what I mean? Like that's just what it is. Yeah, that's just what it is. So here's a follow-up. Carlos, that's a great and fair question. I think the Duel small in size, weight, make a terrific second device, tethered with a second SIM, but I'm interested. Yeah, and you definitely just heard my opinion on that. I don't think, worth or whatever, that word, but as far as a second device for me is a flip phone to my primary device, because that's just going to be getting used for calls and all that, whatever. The Surface is a primary device for a lot of people. It's a Surface device first, but it happens to have a phone. That's correct. That's totally it. Right on point. I like this comment. Definitely try it out now. Oh, he's talking about the feed thing. Okay, yeah. My device is my main and only device. Yeah. I don't know how you carry 4 devices and barely carry 2. No, I carry 2. And I have 4. So 1 stays here in my office for phone. I get a ton of phone calls sometimes. So you got 1 in the office. I got 2 on me, and then 1 somewhere else, like my bedroom or upstairs, because in the movie room, if I don't like I told people, I have a laptop in every room. I want to be able to just pick up something and get right on something. I don't want to have to come back down to my office. So I have a laptop in every room. I have pretty much a phone in places that I'm going to be, and 2 on me. So it's not like I'm carrying around 4 phones all the time. 1 stationary here, keep 1 upstairs, stashed away. If I forget my phone, it'll still ring upstairs on that device, thanks to Google Voice, and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. I see a response here from Tech Loving Mama. She says, I can't tell people, is it worth it? I can only say what it's worth to me or works for me, and that is totally correct. You cannot, it's very difficult to tell people something is worth something, because they're going to get it and they're going to say, man, you lied to me. And that's how people operate online right now. They operate online by taking everything you say to face value. They're going to believe exactly what you're saying. They're going to hold you to it. So I can tell you for a fact, in my humble opinion, the Surface Duel is totally worth $1,000 or less. I said that a year ago. It's totally worth $1,000 or less. It's just this. It just so happens that now it's selling for a lot less than $1,000. They're everywhere for some reason, and people seem to be, it's a money grab for some people. Unfortunately, people are buying 5 of them and trying to resell them at higher costs. People do this all the time. It's kind of messed up, but this is your main primary device, and you will love it. You really don't need a second device, if you will. If you do need a second device, what is that device for? You know what I mean? Like, what are you using it for? This is for a person whose functionality is what you want with this. Functionality. You're not looking to, if you want to carry 2 smartphones, then okay, carry 2 smartphones, but this is for functionality. This is for functionality. So we've gone over, if in fact you missed the beginning of the stream, and you were wondering, let me send a text real quick here, guys. Sorry about this. All right. If you're wondering what you missed, well, I added captions and things down below, and I added in the description. So I really feel like, let me see this right here. Okay, I want to post some of these on here because this guy's been using his since day one. People in public always ask me about the Duel. Then they say, is it great? And then I say, but I say, let me see, I'm just going to see this. And then I say, but it may not be for you. Okay, so he's basically saying, yeah, it's great, but it may not be for you. Or it might be for you. You never know. Razer 5G versus Duo, not even a comparison. Duo all day, in my humble opinion. When I had the Fold 2 for 8 months, it was annoying to use as a primary device. I ended up getting a Note 20 Ultra to use as my main device when I had my Fold. The Duo is my first primary and only device in years. It's good. It's a form factor change. You have to learn how to use it. That's correct. But this is, he's had his since day one. Your muscle memory is going to kick in as soon as you start to use this device. Your muscle memory is going to kick in, and you're going to fall in love with the hardware on here. You're going to start saying to yourself, if you get this, I don't know anybody who has gotten this device that said the hardware was trash. That's just not realistic. I'm telling you, when you get this, you're going to be so in awe at the hardware. You're going to be like, what the heck? What was I doing? What was I thinking not getting this sooner? And the plus to you guys is you didn't spend that first $1,600. You didn't do it. So I took an L on that. I sold that device for like 11 or something like that. Then here I am buying it again. So this device, your muscle memory will kick in as far as using it. And then if you try to go back to, you ever heard people say, I can never not use a folding device again? You probably hear a lot of people saying that. That's why. That's why. Forget you, Gigi. Some of you guys don't know what that means, but yeah. I took them out. I done them yesterday, actually. I see something down here. Oh, this is Sam again. The Duel is such a radical way to use a mobile device. It's so refreshing. It's crazy. That's the thing. Sometimes we need a reboot. We need a reboot, and this is a reboot. If I could get, I know you guys probably get tired of me saying this, but if I could get a 2021 BlackBerry OS device, Passport 2.0, I would be all over it. But unfortunately, you just can't, developers don't want to get behind certain things, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then they stop producing for it, and it just gets frustrating, because the fact of the matter is, if BlackBerry OS was still on top like it used to be, that's where I would still be. That's where it would be. I would be with a BlackBerry Passport right now. And if they kept making versions of the BlackBerry Passport, I wouldn't switch to Android. I wouldn't have iOS, Android, none of that. Because BBOS is the top dog for messaging, video, all of that. It's just what it is, man. And that's just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with that, but that's just how I feel. SmartphoneConversations.com. That's the plug. Go ahead and hit that up to see the latest post from me. I tell you what, though, those people who don't have the Duo, a lot of people who don't have the Duo do the most talking as far as derogatory or I need this. Like some people say, and it just goes to show that people really are interested. They're just afraid to pull the trigger because they might be afraid of change. I've read so many comments from people saying, I need NFC. I need an external display. I need this. I need that. I need stereo speakers. I need this. I need the screens to be this way. There's already devices out there that can suit those needs for you. But you're here and you're looking at this device because you know that it is a step in the right direction and it is probably better than what you might be using. You just don't want to face it. I've reiterated this. I see so many people that were using regular bar phones and they switch to any kind of folding device and they cannot go back. It's almost impossible to go back. Because when you go back, you're going to feel like, man, you'll be thinking about what the other device did. You know what I mean? So, man, all I can say is that if for those people who are considering getting the Surface Duo, you better hurry up and do it now, because the pricing, what's going to happen is the pricing is going to go up, or the new one's going to come out and it's going to be ridiculously priced. It's going to be ridiculously priced, and you know, you're gonna start trying to search for this one, and then the price on this one is not going to be within your reason. It's not going to be within your reason, because what I foresee happening is this: the Surface Duo 2 is going to come out, codenamed Zeta. We already seen the leaks on it. We've actually seen pictures of the Surface Duo 2 and how it's probably going to look. It's got a little single bump camera on the back and blah blah blah. We know this. However, what's going to happen probably is that the Surface Duo is going to come out. It's going to be way outside of your price range, and you're going to be so upset with yourself that you didn't grab this one. And then what's going to happen is people know this. It happens. This happens all the time. You know it does. It happens all the time. The current device comes out, is way outside of what people want to pay. Next thing you know, they want to go backtrack to the previous generation's device. And then what happens with that one? What happens with that one? People start to know that it's going to sell. So those people who have the bread, they jump in there, they buy a bunch of them up, and then they resell them. They resell them. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So the Surface Duo 2 at this point, you should be all over this if you're interested in the device. How low do you want it? That's another thing. Yeah, they're doing, like, you see this kind of like on a fire sale right now, where the price is going lower and lower and lower. I think it's probably plateauing out right now. I don't think you're gonna be, only way you'll be able to get this from like a major retailer for less than 500 is if they just have an influx. But see, what happens is that kills the resale market real time at that moment. You're taking a chance by buying 4 of these at 500 a pop, hoping to be able to resell them if it piques people's interest later. And some people are willing to take that risk. But I would tell a person, now, I've said it before, I said a whole nother video, it's time to buy the Surface Duo if you've always been on the fence. It is totally worth it, in my humble opinion, for anything 1,000 or less. You can get it for 1,000 or less. You are winning just on the hardware alone. Period. You're winning. Winning. Sam says, that's true. I hate listening to non-Duo users. Man, I'm telling you, it's so crazy to hear people talk about something and they don't have it, and they're just listening to what someone else says. Taylor Mom says, if I could get one, I have my way to. That's right. That is correct. Gigi says, I think this is true to most foldable devices. People bash them and have never used one. Even the Fold 2, people trash that device. People are still saying, there's people out there still saying folding devices aren't going anywhere. That's not the future. I'm like, what world are you living in? Just like people said that electric cars wouldn't start to take over. What? Now look what we have. We have an influx of, and they're way more affordable than gas cars. That's the way it works, man. If you're not in control, if you're not the puppet master, you don't get to make those calls. And personally, I feel like those who have been contemplating getting the Surface Duo, I can't stress it enough. Now is the time. Someone asked me, Jay, would you take the See, I got it at Best Buy, pick up at noon. Boom, there you go. Yeah, I ended up, and you got the 128 gig. And I do want to point that out too. The Best Buy decided to put theirs on a kind of a fire sale, if you will. They're starting to match other, let me open up my Best Buy app here and show you. They're starting to match the other devices, the other pricing. So what happens is, if you look here, Best Buy's website is kind of quirky. So if you see here, it says that if you buy it for activation, it's $10.50 for the 256 gig. But if you click on it, unlock afterwards, it's $7.50. That's for the 256 gig. That's what this device costs. But I'm a Best Buy Premier customer, so I got it for $600. I got the 256 gig for $680 because of coupons and things like that. But you can definitely get the 128 gig model for $699 if you don't want to spend and here again, same thing. It says $950. Then when you click on it, it changes to $699. So if in fact you wanted to grab this device from Best Buy, now is the time to do it. You just can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's not, I'm pretty sure that you just saw what I just did. Yeah. I just showed you how. It's their website. You have to click on the unlocked, activate afterwards, and you'll see it. Yeah, it's totally there. I just demoed it, so I know the comments are a little delayed, but yeah. Yeah. I jumped on the 256 gig originally when it was the full price of 15 or whatever. It came like $16.50 with taxes or whatever. And then initially, after I sold it, I went down to a 128. And it's not that 128 is not enough. It's just I chose to grab. I paid $750 for that 128. And since this is a killer keeper device, I might as well. I'm just gonna go back to the 256 gig. And when I saw it in Best Buy for $750, I was like, man, I got enough coupons to get a big discount off of this. So I ended up paying $680 for mine. And I walked right in Best Buy and grabbed it. And then I sent back my 128 gigs that I got on that promo from Buy Dig. I had a 128 gig for $750, but ultimately, and they gave you some free headphones, LG headphones, something like that. But I don't have any use for those. And I did kind of listen to them. They were okay, but this is the better deal for me. I'm willing to take the steps. And you guys know I'm not a fan of doing returns, but this was kind of a situation where I exchanged, if you will. It's just from company to company. I definitely would say if they offer a 512, now they might try to pull that on you. They might try to pull that on us this year in September. If they release it in September, they might try to pull this thing where it's only offered in 512 or 128. And then the 512, the 512 is like $19.99. But see, the problem with that pricing is that I paid $2,000 for the Fold, ultimately, the Fold 2. And so people don't want to give Microsoft a chance if the price goes really high. And listen, I'm not condoning these high prices because obviously, we know that it's going to drop in price if people don't buy it. So they're gonna run it up, man. They're gonna take that risk. They're gonna run that risk, and they're going to price it as high as possible. So I got a question here. How do you take a screenshot? So you can take a screenshot by doing volume down and power. But with this device, you can just hold down the power button and then the screenshot appears and then it takes a screenshot. If you want to do a single screenshot, you just close it. You make sure it's closed and you can use that same volume down and power, or you can just hold it like this and hit screenshot and then boom, there's your screenshot. That's how the screenshots are done. And it appears at the top up there. Yep. Yes, 128. I used my Best Buy points and got it for $693, which is fantastic. If you're not a Premier customer at Best Buy, You know, the way you become a premier customer, the more you go up the ladder. I'm at the highest one, but that's because I make it there every year most of the time because I spend big chunks at one time. I don't make a bunch of purchases from Best Buy anymore. I stopped supporting them once I found out how they did business. I stopped supporting them kind of openly for certain things. You know, anyway, that's a whole nother stream. But nonetheless, I do buy large price things at Best Buy, and that's why I can stay in that Elite Plus or whatever it is every year, because there's always something coming out that I want. Like the last thing was my TV and this, and that takes me over the top again. So, but you can use those points for cashing in. It turns to cash. No, it doesn't have an SD card, which is another reason why I opted to just move on up to the 256 gig. 128 was enough. Let's be clear here. 120, I can use a device with 64 gigs. I don't have to have the highest memory, but at this price point, you know, man, I might as well just grab the 256. Might as well grab the 256. I wonder if I can share my screen. Let me see if I can share my screen here, and I'll go to the Best Buy website here. Let's do this. Let's share my screen if I can remember how to do this. Best Buy. Let's see here. Microsoft Surface Duo. Here it is. I'm gonna give you a better representation of the screen share because I know you're probably thinking, what? All right. Let's see here. It's kind of small to see it on that little screen. So I'm gonna do it this way. Did you guys pre-order your Buds A? I hope you did. So now I'm going to share my screen here, and I'll show you here. Let's see first. Let's see here. Let me get my screen share open here. Share screen. See if I can share. I got to get permission. Right. Let's see if I can share my screen here. All right, I want to share a window. It's going to make me do it in a Chrome tab. All right, so let me cancel out of here. Let me go ahead, because I had it open in Microsoft, or not Microsoft. I had it opened in the other window there. So let's share over here. Let's open it up here. I'll give you a bigger view of this by sharing the tab here so I can show you. All right, now let's share this. Let's share a Chrome tab. Let's share that one. And here we are. So you should be able to see. Oh, let me drag it. I think I got to turn it on. Boom, there it is right there. All right, there we go. So here is the Microsoft Surface Duel at Best Buy. So if you see here, it's on the top portion here. It says $950 for the unlock you activate today. When you click on that $999, it changes to $699. You guys see that? That is how that deal works. That is how that deal works. So if I change it to the 256 gig, it's going to say $1050. But then it says $1099 here, but then when you click on it, it changes to $750. So their website is kind of weird, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Well, yeah, everybody has their own pricing on how much I just feel like spending $50 more to double the storage is totally worth it. If you have 700, you got 750. That's the way I think. I'm not saying you're wrong. For some people, this will work. He says, everyone says, I think the 128 is the deal. The 256 is too much. Respect. Pull it up on Amazon. Okay, I'll pull it up on Amazon for you. So let me see here. Go back. Let's stop sharing real quick, and we'll pull it up on Amazon. All right. Was I just singing the prices right? Yes, I was. Microsoft Surface Duo. Amazon has it low, but they don't. They don't have any of the unlocked ones sold directly by Amazon. All right, so let's share a tab here once again. We're going to share this one. And now you should see the Amazon. If I can get it here. There we go. So the Amazon, what you're looking at here, this one is $691. And the thing about this price is it's been fluctuating back and forth. It's been fluctuating like crazy. But you don't see anything for the, it's $750 here, but this is from Woot. Or no, now they changed. It's not from Woot anymore. It's now from Expert Tech. Yeah, and the shipping times and everything that they are. So Amazon has the 128 shipped and sold by Amazon. They have that for $691. But I'd recommend that you definitely, Amazon is good if you're an Amazon Prime person. Hey, that's great. Yeah. Let me see here. CG says, I watched the price. It's right up on Pluto too. Hey, price, you got to keep the prices up. You got to watch the price on it and make sure that you're getting the best deal. Let's see here. I see a comment here. It says, I hope the Duel 2 focus heavily on battery because I'm charging this thing twice a day. Heavy user. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going to help you. Because let's check my battery again real quick. I don't think that's going to help you if they do a whole bunch with battery, because battery depends on the user. So like right now I have 34% left, 4.5 hours screen on time, almost 19 hours of usage there. Battery depends on the user. What you might want to invest in is, I know you like the Duo, but I don't know. I guess I would ask a follow-up person to Legit Montreal Fig Pen. What are you doing on your phone to charge it, or your device to charge it 2 times a day? I mean, that you got to be doing some. I mean, even the day trading, he uses it. He gets 4 to 5 hours of screen on time before he has to charge it, and he's charging it once a day. What are you doing on your device to have to charge it twice a day? Please answer me on that one, because I don't understand that. There's no way that I could use this device that heavy, because I think sometimes I'm a heavy user, but I guess I'm not. What are you doing on your device this long? What are you doing to make you have to charge it twice a day? That's crazy. I'm gonna pause for the calls and wait for you to respond, because I got to hear this. I got to know what you're doing to make you have to charge so much. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that where a person has to charge so much in a day. Pause for the calls. I'm waiting for that response. That is a lot. That's a lot of charge for this device in particular. I mean, that's a lot. Oh, here we go. We got his response. He said Game Pass and Netflix on weekends. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, of course. So what you should do is, man, here's what you should do. If you're going to do Game Pass and Netflix on the weekends, here's what I recommend you do, just so you don't heat up the device and burn the battery out. Don't use a fast charger. Charge it to 100 and then plug it in and have a good time. Don't use a turbo charger, I'll say. Use a fast charger, not like a super fast turbo charger. Now, you can use the default charger that comes with your device. It charges fast, but not that fast, so you could do that. But charge to 100 and then plug it in and enjoy yourself. Because to charge it back up to 100 is working harder. Yeah. I don't know about that. My Fold 2 didn't get better battery, any different battery than this one. But everybody, it depends on what's running on the device. Battery life is such a touchy subject to talk about. It's just touchy because you got people that probably do the same thing you do and get better battery than you. They don't have to charge twice a day. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Because I normally have a movie open and I'm texting or emailing on the other side, or I've got a YouTube open or something like that, and I'm texting the email. I'm always texting or emailing on one side of this device, and I'm having it like this here. I got it like this, and I got the movie up top. This is just beast mode right here, though. I got the movie up top, and I'm texting and doing everything down here. That's my go-to. That's my go-to. I'm technically charging 2 times a day. I start the day at 5 a.m. with a full charge. I get home around 6 p.m. and I charge it during dinner. Never completely dies, though. That's a fact. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, so roughly, I mean, you may be charging like him 2 times a day, but you're technically getting the most out of your device. And that's, you know what? Let me ask you a question. Are you happy with the device? Does it make you happy? I mean, is that enough for you to say, I'm getting rid of this thing? Because if it is, I don't think so. I'm asking that. I know that's a rhetorical question, but I mean, I know what your answer is going to be. But the fact of the matter is, the device is worth keeping. Even the people who are charging it, like you guys are charged, like Ed's charging it again once he gets home, I don't think he's that bothered by it. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't be bothered by it. You know what I mean? All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining me in this quick, like straight up. Totally wasn't planning on doing a live stream, but I didn't want to record a video, and I thought I can do a high resolution top down shot for these cats and do a live stream at the same time using CamLink. So I appreciate you guys in your work day, man. I mean, I know you guys are busy. You don't have time to be watching Jay do no live streams and all that stuff throughout your day. I did a live stream yesterday. Shout out to Tech Loving Mama. If you haven't seen that, part 3 is dope. Wait until you see part 4. If you're not following along, starting a YouTube channel in 2021, it's a theme right now, and it's a series going on. That was part 3 yesterday with Tech Loving Mama. You got to check that out. Part 2 was with Gigi and Tech Fowler. Shout out to them. And part 1, I was solo. So part 4, if all goes well, you're gonna have a banger on your hands. You're gonna have a great time. Yeah, you're gonna have a great time. So smartphoneconversations.com, that's the plug. Go ahead and hit me up there. I'm there all the time, posting every day. I think YouTube is a lot of stuff. I had a video go live during this stream. I think I saw Tech Valor retweeted, or bots retweeted it for me. But yeah, I didn't even schedule them out, keep it going, keep the flow going. But I appreciate you guys, man, joining me in a live stream. And I know it was early in the morning for some of you guys, and it was late in the evening for some of you guys. But right now, I've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes, looks like. So it's time to get going. I gotta get some lunch. Let's do lunch. And I'm gonna have a good time watching tonight. Be over on Gadget Chats tonight. I believe it's tonight. I think it's tonight, right? Gadget Chats tonight, right? It's Tuesday. I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure it is. Gadget Chats tonight, because I think I got my reminder set. I think I do. I think I always set my reminders. Gadget Chats, where you at? Gadget Chats, where you at? Gadget Chats. Yes, right there. No, not Gadget Chats. It's oh my God. Okay, all right. I got it mixed up. Here we go. I knew something was Tuesday. There we go. It's Gadget got us tonight. There's my reminder right there. So be there tonight if you haven't been there. There she is right there. Be there tonight. If you're not on that channel, go ahead and sub there. We got a great thing going, guys. So I'll try to be active, on Mondays. And I appreciate you guys stopping by this stream. Gadget Goddess is tonight. I believe it's 6 p.m. I don't know. I just got my reminder on. It just pops up when I click on it. So, but I appreciate you guys coming through. Don't forget part 4 next Monday here. I'm trying to make something happen. If it doesn't happen the way I want, I'm still gonna kick it on Monday with part 4. I'll have a backup or something like that, hopefully. So yeah, part 4 of the series is going on Monday. And you guys go get some lunch, get back to work, whatever you was doing. I appreciate everybody stopping in. Bunch of great questions. Give yourself a hand clap. Give yourself a hand clap. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the stream tonight. So give yourself a round of applause. You know what I mean? Coming through, hanging with me for a little bit while you're at work. I appreciate you guys, man. I'll try to be more active in the streams just to keep things going, get the conversation going, and taking advantage of the situation, man. So smartforconversations.com. Let's plug once again. Today was Microsoft Surface Duo live Q&A tips and tricks. Did I show you any tricks? I learned some tricks from y'all too. I learned some stuff from y'all, man. Got love for y'all like play cousins. Y'all already know what it is. I'm gone.